What is up? This is the All or Nothing Show. We're back. We got Miles Fit Hicks.
What?
Miles Hicks Fit. I fuck it up every time.
Miles
I feel like
Hicks.
I said it last time.
It's fine.
Miles Hicks Fit.
Yeah.
All right,
Just
set it
the
backwards.
basic, basic Instagram handle like name with the fit at the end.
You know, I told Maddie because she had just Maddie Dix forever, and then she was like, I feel like, I'm not going to get traction unless I add, like, fit to it. And so I tried to talk her out of it. She's like, I'm going to add fits. And then she was Maddie Dix Fit for, like, the past 2 years. But then recently, she's felt like she hasn't really posted that much, and she's just been torn with the whole, like, cliche fitness posts, the styles, and she doesn't feel like she wants to post her workouts, blah, blah. And so I think she's back to just Maddie Dix, which I always feel like looks clean.
Way better.
If it's just like your name,
Yeah.
I don't think, argue me, or don't argue me, because I'm fucking right.
Man,
but
can't speak.
How does adding fit to your name associate, like, a status?
I think it was just a thing at the beginning.
Gotcha.
And then I think now, I think, like, just having your name is way better.
What about being like, oh, that's Miles? That is.
I think it's a little
that's
more
Brock.
searchable.
Yeah, I'm about to say algorithm.
Originally.
Okay.
Around
So you'd be
algorithm.
like, oh, like, Miles Hicks Fit, like, oh, he's into fitness, whatever. You maybe, like, find it a little
Got
bit
it.
easier. And you, like, instantly classify yourself, in that category as a fitness account,
I categorize you as an unaccomplished fucking
Pretty much,
jack dude.
yeah.
Loser.
Yeah.
It's weird because, like, I was actually, like, listening to some, like, Instagram stuff from the people that work there. And it's, like, it's good to classify yourself, but then it's, like, not at the same time.
Yeah.
It doesn't even make sense, really. Like, if you classify yourself, like, because you're ranked. Like, we're all ranked.
Yeah.
And, like, the more niche you are, the more, like, classified you are, the more higher ranked you get. But the more you're broad, the harder you are for the Instagram algorithm and the people that work there to put you in a group.
Yeah.
So they kind of, like, you're not stuck, but you're kind of, like, not able, it's harder to, like, rank up.
I get it.
It's definitely tricky, and I feel like you have to almost think the long game, too, because even if you get higher following from, like, one kind of content, but you don't enjoy making that content or you don't see that in the long term, it's almost, like, pointless. Like, I have a friend who, grew a big YouTube channel via running videos, and then once he moves out to LA and he's doing different things with his life, he wants to post more vlog content and that, but his viewer count goes way down, and people are like, hey, where are the running videos? I subscribe for running, blah, blah, blah. And you get to this torn place where it's like, do you put up with, like, the lower engagement and try and grow as people want to come for you, the individual, or for the new content you're posting? Or do you revert back to appease the masses? You know what I mean?
I say either make 2 pages, and then you can have 2 pages bringing in numbers.
I get that too.
Or, just deal with the backlash.
Can we say content is consistency, or growing a following, or that type of viewage is consistency? So if he was able to be consistent enough to make a running channel, he should be consistent enough to make a vlogging channel.
And he has a base.
True, but sometimes, though, it doesn't convert as easy as you think. So I know this one guy that he recently had moved to Richmond like a year ago. But this guy also has the name Brock, though. But he does men's style and, like, fashion and things like that. So he has a big base with that. He has, like, 40,000 on Instagram. He has a couple 100,000 on YouTube. And when I talked to him, he was trying to transition to basically becoming, more known for him rather than his, like, website, blog, and, like, YouTube, like, name. Because he has, like, a name of that, what'd you call it, channel, like, Modest Man, rather than, his name, like Brock, whatever. So he was trying to transition to that, but he was having a lot of trouble to where, he had a couple thousand, maybe like 10,000, 12,000 people come over, but he can't draw the same amount of numbers because people want that curated content, and trying to get new people into you for this reason. Sometimes you're just better and more attractive to people visually or the content you make for this other stuff. Does that make sense,
Yeah. Sometimes, he might not be as likable person just being himself.
Yeah, that too, yeah.
Why didn't you just create a brand off that, and just sell shit through it? Like, utilize
Oh, no, he's still utilizing that
Okay.
brand. That's still where he
Gotcha.
pumps
I
it
thought
all
he was,
of his
like,
income.
trying to get rid of it.
No, but he's like, long term, he'd like to post more and use himself as the
Gotcha.
brand rather than the website or the blog as the brand.
Okay.
Well, Bradley Martin, have y'all seen how he kind of has been more just a lifestyle person? Well, he's
I
more.
stopped following him years ago, but I know what you kind of mean. Yeah.
Yeah, he like messing with Steve will do it and all that stuff, and he's like posted more of that content, and he has 2 different pages. But for me, it's like Bradley Martin is this fitness guy, and like even though I do like him for just him, I guess you could say, but it's still hard for me to sit there and enjoy his content of like what he's just casually doing right now. I don't know, it's kind of weird.
I felt that way a lot with like Max Tuning and Christian Guzman when they were like first, like 2015, 16, 17, when they were like posting, you know, Max was training a lot more and consistently he was more focused on powerlifting, and then Christian was, you know, slowly building out his gym, but he was still competing and all that. Like that's very different content than what he posts now, which you can appreciate both for different reasons. But, you know, I think neither of them spend as much time on consistent focused training, but you get a lot more business aspect or lifestyle from their videos and content nowadays.
Yeah.
For better or for worse.
Yeah. Speaking of Christian, Miles.
That was a good segue, wasn't
You
it?
just got back from Houston, Texas? Stafford?
Yeah.
Visiting Alphaland. What's good with that, man?
Yeah, honestly, it was tight. The gym is crazy.
I was going to say, the gym's probably like undefeated.
Well, it was
they
only
got a
like
couple
part 1. Like, it was only like...
The first one.
I don't know. I hate to sound corny. I had what's his name? Gingy, the guy that we met the last time. Yeah. He was like, basically, I can't like really believe the hype, but like I'm not all the, you know, bite something and being like, oh, this is great. Like, but like walking into there, it was kind of wild. I'm not gonna lie. And the gym is just like you walk in and it goes.
It's extremely tall.
Yeah, and they're like it's super bright, but it's got the black paint, and it's like.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. Like, I was thinking, like, I couldn't imagine working out here every day. Like, I was literally like, would I get used to this? This is insane.
Yeah.
I mean, and then when you walk in, it's, like, super, like, elegant. It's super high, like, classy chandeliers. It was awesome, though. I mean, yeah, Alphaland was cool.
And would you go back?
Would I go back?
Yeah.
I'm going to go back as soon as they fully open for everyone to go. Like, literally, like, that weekend, I'm going to try to book a ticket.
What's, like, the coolest non-obvious thing that they have there? So, like, for example, you know, like, when I went to, like, Wegmans, I thought something that was cool was their sinks are, like, motion sensor to where it starts when you put your hands on. Like, shit like that. Like, is there something cool there that you were like, oh, fuck, like, the little details? Okay,
this is not it, but something that I did think was really cool was in the bathrooms, the toilets are blacked out.
I thought they were, yeah.
Yeah,
so,
like
hold on. The toilet, like the porcelain is black.
Everything, like the toilet, the inside, the
even
seat,
the paper,
like everything is. I don't know why. I don't think I've ever seen an all black toilet.
Me neither.
I've seen the black like lid part, but like the.
I've seen it here, unfortunately.
But no, that was really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to say. Like for me, what stood out too was how well lit it was. Like I paid attention to the lights. I literally looked at the lights, which were really bright. And how like usually I think about in all black gym, it's cool, but like for example. I like light content.
Yeah,
and,
I get that.
You know, for example, so I like light content, and there, like, all the walls are black, but it was so bright in there. And I was like, you know, like, I hate to be all, but when you take a selfie or a picture of you, you know, like, all the dark behind you, usually in a black gym, is a dark picture. It's hard to brighten it up and make it, but that is so bright that it made it, like look alive while having that contrast. They had a cool like cardio room. It was like sleep later or something like that. It was but there's nothing specific that really, of course, just being there with a bunch of like other people that are like, you know, about to compete and stuff like that. I think did it, but I mean it was just clean. Like I don't know. It's just. I'm a big energy person too, so it's like I go in somewhere, anywhere, and I'm either going to be a very big introvert, or I'm going to be very extroverted, or I'm going to feel good, or feel unsafe, feel uneasy, whatever. And I just felt like, man, like I couldn't even wrap my head around like what would it be like walking in here every day? Like this is such a vibe. Like how can anyone get used to this?
Yeah,
you know. But
so when you showed up, like was. Obviously, it was all you expected plus some, but like when you showed up, the facility, everything was as big as it's played out to be. like
Renzo
grand?
said it wasn't.
Okay.
But then he was like, "Oh wait, yes it is." So when we got there, first of all, we had to drive like a long way to go around to the other side to get in. So I mean, it's big. Like it's 20 acres.
Oh shit.
Or 19, I think to be exact.
Still, that's pretty big.
Yeah, and so like driving in, you walk in this pathway. You walk in. It's got the slide doors.
Yeah.
And it's got that little, I don't know how much y'all been keeping up with it, but it's got this fixture. It's blacked out marble ground. To the right, it's got like, it's actually, I was like, oh, this would be a cool podcast setup. It's got this big chandelier and gold like lighting and these two nice chairs with a small table in the middle. I don't know what that's there for, to be honest with you. It's like a waiting room, like a fancy waiting room. And then just their checkout area was super, I mean, it was just very fancy. They have the Alphaletes, the cafeteria that's connected to it, the lounge area, the outside patio, like.
Damn, dude.
And that was just one gym. And then you go under a covered walk trail to go to a different gym, which I didn't go to. And then there's a third gym. You know, so I mean, it's pretty big. And that's why I'm like, yo, how could I get used to this?
Yeah,
like, I can work out. Everything is in this gym. I could work out in this gym for 8 weeks.
You know what I feel like? It's like, y'all know what Great Wolf Lodge is and shit?
I haven't been, but I know what it is.
Yeah,
I haven't been either.
Or like a cruise or some shit. I feel like this is like a fitness cruise where you'd like go and stay for like a week. You know, and you go to the cafeteria, get your food.
Today
your
we got
continental
this
breakfast.
on,
yeah.
this show, this gym.
Exactly.
Tomorrow's the next gym.
There's another pumping irons viewing every day at 12. You know?
Seriously, no. It's sweet, and honestly, I would move. I learned this before I did the show, and I shouldn't say this. Well, I mean, it don't matter, but Alphalete people aren't my kind of people. Like, they're not my kind of vibe. I'm not like them. And at one point I was like, I shouldn't even want to try to be on the team because I'm not like them. I wouldn't fit in with them. I think there's one guy on there that I feel like I would be comfortable like hanging out with and, you know, getting to know. Other than that, like, and I know some people on the team that I am, like, I guess you could say cool with, but like, we're not similar.
Do you feel like they're too into themselves or too into like the influencer side of things and they're not as like personable and real?
Yeah, some are, and some are like they think they're the coolest thing because of they're with Alphalete.
Yeah.
And some are just like, I'm not a very big over-exaggerated. I'm very realist, down-to-earth kind of thing. Like, for example, you take someone like Christian, like he bites into, like we were saying earlier, he bites into a cookie, and before he even knows what it tastes like, he's like, oh my God, this is great. And like, he's very over-exaggerated. I'm not like that. I'm like,
I think that comes with YouTube over years. Like, you involuntarily have to
that
play
same
things up.
friend I have. Yeah, like as soon as he had spent more time like in LA with like more influencers, like when he comes back, it's like everything is like over the top reaction to everything, and it's almost like it's putting on a show or some kind of persona, or like you said, just being hyperbolic about every little experience as if you're on camera. And especially when the cameras come on, it is like an over-the-top reaction to every little thing.
I've questioned if I'm just like living wrong. If like sometimes I'm like, maybe like if you look at those kind of people, they're all kind of like successful in their own way, obviously because we see them. So obviously, so it's like, is that personality, is that mindset of that, is that like a way to be? Like, is that guy, is he influenced by that, and is that why he's doing good, or is he successful because he's adapted like everything is good, everything is, this? And it's not that I don't think everything is good or whatever, but it's just, even like besides that, like shout out to Justin because he's someone on there, but I don't feel like I am like him. Like, he goes to EDM shows, like like taking mushrooms. He
that's a big thing I feel like in fitness for some reason is these like raves.
Yeah, like just everything.
I guess I'm not in fitness.
Yeah,
and
I'd rather shoot my eye out.
I hate to even pull this card, but it's different because I know you guys aren't that much into it, and I feel like I could hang out with y'all. But like, even just as far as like culture, like the one guy that I said I feel like I can hang out with is this black dude that like is new to the team, and like I mean, I don't know, it's just, but overall, like, I don't know why I even brought that up, but Alphalete in general is like that environment of them all wanting to do something and grow, like, is very motivating. And I don't know why I brought this up, to be honest. So
I think in a way what you're saying is like the culture is one thing that doesn't seem as attractive to you, but it's almost like the aura around it and such is just a different.
And I feel like some
entity.
of these people, I don't know anybody on Alphalete besides Christian, but you hear about people going to expos and meeting these type of people, whether they're influencers of other brands or whatever, where they're like, oh, in person they were very
different,
bland, like they weren't like they are on YouTube. And I think that's the case for a lot of people, that they aren't original and they aren't themselves. They upplay it, and I think that's in the long term what wins is you just being the same.
Yeah.
Be on camera, whether it's boring-esque, but it's you though, so you're consistent, throughout.
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree. And the thing is, I just want to disclaim here: if I ever got offered to be on Alphalete, I'm acting brand new. So just know that.
No, I get it. I get it. And then eventually, you could at first, and you could still like sink down into your true self. Because I think at the end of the day,
delete the podcast.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think I'll always be true to myself, and like it's not that I can't get along with them. It's just those aren't people, and like I said, this is where I thought like I'm wrong. Those aren't people that I would hang out with if I met them in the gym. Like I'd be cool with them, I'd talk to them and have conversation with them, but it would
not like,
be
hey,
there.
what are you doing after this type?
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know. It's just, but maybe like I said, that's just me. Maybe I don't like hanging out with that many people in general. So maybe that's it. Maybe I was just
welcome to the club.
Yeah.
Maybe I was just intimidated. Like maybe I'm just playing down on myself, so I don't feel like insecure. I don't know.
Yeah. I feel the same way though about like Gymshark. I always told Maddie it's like, I'm not seeking any kind of like partnership with them, nor would I get that, especially with like where I'm at now. But it's same deal. Like I talk shit honestly about the material. I call like some certain things cheap or the people kind of fake. But yeah, if they sent me a $sign contract, I'd be like, hey guys, I fucking love this shit.
Right.
This is the best clothes on the market.
I mean, Gymshark, that's crazy.
It's almost like you said, like the clout behind it and the aura that gets attached to these people just because you have that, to use your term, cosign. That got that cosign of Alphalete or these big brands. You definitely like you feel bigger than you are. Yeah. Some people act it.
I hope I never get that way. I mean, and I'm not saying all of them. There's one guy actually specifically that I guess he could potentially see this because we follow each other. That he acts so brand new, and I don't like him for that. Yeah. I'm talking crazy right now.
Who?
I'm not gonna say his name.
I thought I missed the name.
No, he tried to get him.
But like, I should say his name. But honestly, like, it was just kind of crazy, like how he. I don't know, like when he. You know what? Actually, I'm just gonna leave it alone. I gotta leave it alone.
Good on you, man.
So how was the show? How do you feel like you did? How was your experience with how the show was run? And we can kind of lead off, I guess.
The show was good. I mean, the guy who won overall deserved to win overall.
He looked thick.
Yeah,
he looked like a big dude.
He, he even like competing, like he did the Olympia Amateur, like he's done.
So
a
I was
lot of
gonna
shows
say, like, I was looking into the rules online because I wasn't sure.
You couldn't be a pro.
Yeah, that's where I was gonna go with it. Was you couldn't be a pro, but that's still. I was telling Austin, it leaves such a wide range where I feel like for an event like of this, it's not like it was the most massive event in the world, but there is a lot of like notoriety around it that you're gonna draw ideally. The best of the best of amateurs to where some of these people probably could go pro,
Yeah, I mean, they said actually at the athlete meeting that everyone that has won has gone pro after, or since, even though there's one guy that hasn't. But yeah, no, I mean,
that guy.
No, he's cool. Shout out to Justin.
Oh, that's the guy. Yeah.
No, the other guy. Honestly, at this point, if he's listening, he's gonna know he went pro. He's legit. He's legit though. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Go give him respect on that. He's legit. But yeah, it went well. I mean, it was the first show where I was like slightly nervous. And the biggest thing of the show, to not like rant about a bunch of BS about the show, was at the end, like when you go for overall, they have a pose down. Like, the one thing I'll say I don't like about the show, but it's just how bodybuilding shows are in general. They know who's going to win once they see that person. And the thing is like, for example, the Charlotte show, I should have won the Charlotte show overall, and I will stand by that till I drop dead. This show, when you saw the guy, you said, yeah, he's going to win. And the same thing with the years I competed, Justin, who won, and then the dude, Alex, who won the second year. When you saw them, literally, before we even started pumping up, you were like,
yeah, I feel like bodybuilding is one of those sports mainly because it is so like subjective, but it's one of those things where you can look at someone kind of quickly, whether it's the Olympia or whatever competition, and be like, yeah, you already know kind of like what's up. Like there's no way to make up ground in a few minutes to like be bigger.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
cut up.
No.
I mean, you can outpose them in a few angles, but I mean, if they're on, they're on.
Yeah, exactly. And so like the thing with the overall thing was the pose down, and that is not me. I'm not the pose down. I don't want to sit there and
The pressure.
like the last time I did the show, the pose down, I kind of just stood off in the cut. I was like,
Oh.
yeah. And I also knew like. I was like, all right, but this year, like I like prepped myself before. I was like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get out of character.
Yeah.
This is a part of everything. The reason why I'm doing this, and I mean, the whole time they were really just looking at the dude. Like you could tell, like they like glanced over a couple times, you know, but like they knew who was gonna win, and honestly, everyone else did too. But I was very like happy with doing that. That was a very big part for me to like step out of my comfort zone way more than I ever have, literally in my life. Besides maybe doing steroids, but like for me to get up there and like try to be all like extra, like you know, like I always say like I blacked out, but that was really important for me, and it made me feel good, and it made me feel better knowing that like out of this show I might not have won overall, but like I gave it my all in literally every aspect, and like I pushed it and did things I never thought I would do to be my best. And at the end of the day, it's like I always know that there's someone better out there, no matter how good I look in my local gym or whatever the case may be. I always have known, and like from being taught, like there's always gonna be someone better. And the guy came in and he looked great. Like he looked amazing. So
I think that's the right mindset too. And something that I've always like said is, you know, you could walk in like, you know, most of the dudes that come to our gym, powerlifters, could go to a commercial gym and have everybody standing still, just watching them squat 500, 600 pounds. You know, it's like the gym would freeze.
yeah,
But here, you still get some eyes, but depending on like the weight and the time of day, you know, it's just another lift.
yeah,
It's same deal with, you know, physiques. Like you might be the biggest dude at our gym or another gym, but yeah, you go to a show or you go to Metro Flex, you go to Alphaland, and it's, you know, you're just another guy.
you're just another guy. Exactly.
And you gotta, you know, approach every day. And you know, and when you were talking about social media, ideally, approach social media with that same humbling mindset. You know, and not think that you're both physically and mentally bigger than you are. You know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of steroids, man, this is a topic that I wanted to bring up. So, obviously, you mentioned that, and I don't know if you mentioned on the last show we had you on pre competition, but you had started your first cycle ever before the show, however many
August
weeks.
14th.
Knows the date.
Yeah.
So
A day that will live in infamy.
a good month or 3 months, 4 months out. What? Yeah. No, a little bit more.
Yeah, August, September, October, so about three. Yeah.
And are you continuing to run any type of exogenous hormones throughout this to try and grow, or do you see any future of you maybe getting back on a cycle or doing something else with other goals?
Honestly, I've been thinking about making an Instagram post about it. I don't know, man. Okay, as of right now, I'm coming off of it, even though I haven't started taking any post-cycle stuff.
But have you stopped taking?
I haven't taken anything since the week before the show.
You might want to hop on or like start doing something
that's what I hear.
before things crash a little bit.
Yeah, well,
some people are all right though.
I know, that's what I hear, and I feel like since I didn't feel any type of changes, and it was a shorter period of time.
I guess the wildest thing that could probably happen is your mood goes in the dumps and the titties start to get a little sensitive.
Yeah.
Maybe a little prolactin builds up, but so that's why you have stuff, right?
Yeah.
To start it though, right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's weird because I don't think, like, I think I made one post about it, and then I've made, like, very small comments maybe on my story about, like, using, and, like, a lot of people still don't know.
Yeah, that's a funny thing I feel like that I've realized about
Even the marathon?
Yeah, like
I asked him.
any post, you know, like I'm like, oh, like it's not some self-confidence thing where I think everyone reads all my captions, right? I realize that a lot of people are just scrolling and liking, or don't read it at all, or don't, you know, even like the photo. But it is one of those things where you think even after you made multiple posts, you made a story like, oh, everyone knows. I'll still have people that are like, oh, like you're doing like some running thing soon, right? I'm like, yeah, I'm doing the marathon. Like, I've been talking about it for like months now. you know.
Yeah, I did that walking in. I said, you're doing, well, I said, you're doing a marathon
You
tomorrow,
knew.
right?
You knew. Yeah.
I mean, I was going to say this earlier, like, I've
guess.
seen the word marathon, like, in the, and then you said something earlier.
Yeah.
But, no, and that's the thing, like.
I know what you mean, though. Yeah.
I didn't really, like, it's such a weird thing, like, I didn't want to brag about it, or not brag about it, but talk about it too much.
Like overdo it, yeah.
And then I didn't want to not talk about it because I didn't want people to think.
You're talking about steroids, right?
Yeah.
I think you should be transparent.
I mean, I'm transparent. Like,
I haven't seen you promoting it. I've seen you giving your experience with it,
Yeah.
and your goals and why.
I guess there's a balance with like not being like over the top, like, oh, by the way, I'm on steroids like every post, but at the same time, I know you don't want to act like you're concealing it either.
yeah, exactly. And like, I don't want to like sell it. Like, if I like, or not sell it, but like if I say I'm on steroids, also too, like I'm gonna be very transparent. It also discredits me to some eyes, and it's like I already said my piece.
No, if anything, it credits you to me.
I mean,
it's like, oh, this
yeah.
guy's 100% real.
yeah, I know,
People
but
are
some
gonna take it how they take it.
yeah, exactly. But so it's like, all right, I said it, so now you can't say I didn't say it. But like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna like. I didn't leave it alone. Like, if anyone messaged me and asked me, I say it. Or if I talk to someone, like, there's a lot of people I just worried about and say, yeah, I'm on steroids. Or, like, someone was like, naturally the nicest guy or something like that on my story the other day. And I was like, take away the natural, you know?
Yeah,
like,
I saw you did that.
so,
yeah.
like, you know, I try to do things like that. But, like, I didn't try to stress, you know, hey, guys, just know that I'm on something. You know what I mean? But, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing next. Like, I don't know. I mean, a lot of people, and I guess that's what I get for doing shows, but a lot of people are like, I don't want to say now looking at me as like a bodybuilder and a competitor. And a lot of people are like, hey, like you motivate me for competing and this, that. And then like, I'm like, man, should I like continue to compete? And then I'm like, well, I don't love it. I don't like it at all, actually. So I shouldn't, right? But then I'm looking at business and I'm like, well, I've already started doing the stuff that I didn't want to do to begin with, steroids. I might as well, like, you know, make something out of it because, I mean, truthfully, it might be egotistical, I might be delusional, but I think I can. So it's like, I don't know what to do, like, because, and then it's like, I'm about to shrink. Well, not shrink, but I'm going to lose some size. And it's like, well, now, I mean, I'm even less more marketable as, like, who I am on Instagram. And it's just like, you know, it's like, oh, I can keep growing and be a freak.
I feel like it's a bit of you're torn between, you know, what do you want to do and what do you feel like other people want you to do, and not like not that you're worried about them per se, but pleasing them, you know, and like return could please you by virtue of their feedback and engagement or business opportunities. It's more than just I'm worried about what people think. You do need to care at some point, at least what some people think.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah, and also, you know, I'm who am I though? But I'm very big on like, you shouldn't pander to, you know, other people's opinions.
Especially if it's bringing you stress or the money commitment of doing shows.
Yeah,
and
it's
like
like
that.
Yeah.
I think you could still be very influential, natural.
Yeah.
Like giving your story and your transparency about how you tried it came off, and then how you built up from there. You know.
And that's where my mind is going with it
Or
all.
the opposite. You fucking juice up and you're fucking 300 pounds.
blasted.
Muscle, yeah.
Yeah, you know, and like
Oh,
honestly,
Kelly.
I mean, you said it best. It's like, well, I'm not really concerned about what other people think about me. It's more so like, honestly, shout out to Big Tyler. I call him Big Tyler. I don't know his last name.
Big time.
Talking about Brittany's boyfriend? Yeah,
Big Tyler. That's
I
my
think
homie.
It's like Lefevre?
Yeah. Start with the L.A.
Yeah, that motherfucker's huge. Yeah.
My homie. That's
just,
my homie.
he's just
yeah.
a big,
Vanilla Gorilla.
just a large man. Just a large man.
Yeah, and so like, I was telling him like, I do a lot of what I do, like besides being myself, but for business. Like, I'm not a flashy guy. Like when I was talking about like the pose down, like I don't like competing because I feel like a vain douchebag, to be quite honest. Like I don't like it. If we go to the beach and maybe this is my ego, I'm like, okay, I know I look good and you know whatever. I don't want to take my shirt off because I don't want everyone looking at me. Like I don't like that.
I probably wouldn't want you taking your shirt off around me either.
but
Making me feel like shit.
I know.
but you know what I'm saying? Like I don't like it, but I know that like, or I feel as if I can make a business out of myself doing what I love.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, statistically, if you look at the fitness industry, what works, what sells, whatever. And that is one reason why I do it. That's why I post. I don't post my shirtless selfies or the picture I posted yesterday because I want everyone to see me like that. Like, I post it because it's going to get eyes and it's going to get attention and it's going to, do what I need it to do. So it's just like, that's where I'm torn. Not really like, oh, does this person care about what I look like in this picture, which in a way, I guess it still does play that factor. But you know what I'm saying? Like, are they going to judge me for this? It's more so like, this is going to sound sick at the same time, but what is going to make me money? What is going to benefit me to get me where I aspire to be?
Yeah. I think you can do it. Again, I'm just reiterating, like, to a long or a bigger picture. I think you could definitely, anybody could do it both ways. Being an influential natural, but also it helps when you have the tools of adding a ton of muscle and a great physique, a great look. But in a way, and being transparent, like we talked about, in a way of almost educating, but not being not being a source, but just telling your story of why you've done it, or at least mentioning it, and then getting people to understand that, hey, this isn't the route for everybody.
But the thing is, though, another reason why I don't like talking about it too much is because the young kids that if
they don't care what you say.
No,
like,
it's not only. It's
I'm
not
trying
only,
to get like Miles. I want to blow up.
But and not only that, but like if I'm being transparent, I'm gonna say, yo, if you want to compete and be legit, take steroids, and I stand by that.
Yeah.
I don't want to preach that, I don't want to preach that. If you want to be anything in the sport, you gotta take steroids, like in the NPC,
Yeah.
and like if you look at any top influencer, like I think Christian's on some mess, like when he does his stuff.
Yeah, I've heard reliable source that he takes some like drugs to cut up.
Got some business insiders.
Yeah.
Get some tips.
But and there's nothing wrong with
undisclosed.
that. But you know what I'm saying? It's like if you look at the top influencers, even the ones that are like natural, quote unquote, like let's be honest, the keys are there. Like they're obvious if you statistically look at it.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't know without beating around the bush how to say, hey guys, I only took this for the show. And then they're like, well, if he took it for the show, then like I gotta take it for the show. I don't want to put the eyes on that.
I get it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think people are just very judgmental, with big decisions like that,
Yeah. And that's the thing, though. Like I said, I don't care if someone doesn't like me anymore because I took steroids, but it's like I don't want some young kids that may look up to me or may want to be in the fitness industry and me be transparent and say, look, I did it for the show because I want to do this and this, that. Then they're going to say, well, I want that. And a lot of these young kids think they're going to the Olympia anyways.
A lot of people.
Every kid thinks.
Yeah,
you know?
a lot of people that, it's not even specific, but just people who compete, especially like locally, they think they're going to the Olympia. They think all I want to do is compete, and some of them have only been lifting for a year.
They don't even know if they're going to be working out next year.
Some of them have only been lifting for 4 years. Some of them have been in and out. And to make such like a,
life-changing commitment,
exactly, for this, and some of these people, for better for worse, I'm not up there getting it, so I'm not going to, act like I'm greater than now, but making these big commitments and you're not even winning sometimes these local shows.
Yeah.
Let alone, you're making this huge commitment to go all the way. And especially you can't do this whole, hokey pokey, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, like only take some gear and you don't want to go to the level it takes to get to the Olympia. Like what do you either got to kind of put all the chips in or just pack it up and do something else. Or just don't take the steroids. Like you can still lift, compete, enjoy yourself. Or you can still take the steroids and, like, that's cool if that's your life decision. But if you're doing it with the intentions of I'm going to be, Mr. Olympia or I'm going to get all this fame instantly, that's not, like, the key,
It's honestly so messed up, man. And, like, I think, like, one thing that I hold pride in is everyone was like, you're going to continue. Everyone says they're going to stop. And, like, honestly, they're like, you're going to, like, lose some size and you're going to I don't care about that. Like, I hate to say this. I did it for business. I literally did. And that is crazy for me even to think about. But, like, these kids, and I got to say it, like, they don't know. Like, I've been working out for coming on 10 years now. Yeah. I've seen so many in good shape guys fall out of the gym. I've seen so many young kids come out of the gym. And I've seen it because I've been in the gym. Like, I haven't taken any time off. And I, almost 10 years now, just did my first cycle ever. Like, these kids don't know what they're going to be doing next
100%.
year, rather 6 months. And it's like, but if I sit there and say, look at Chris Bumstead, when did he start?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
18?
we've had this discussion a lot because we've had kids either come through the gym or ones we know or their friends, whatever. And, the big thing is, like, SARMs right now because it's, like, it doesn't really feel like steroids. But
easier accessible than, like,
it's easier accessible. I mean, you
testosterone.
can actually, like, buy it right at, like, some of these stores and things like that. But to your point, yeah, they don't really realize, I'm the same deal. I haven't put in 10 years, but I put in 7 years. And I've seen so many people come and go as far as how serious they're lifting or just taking time off. And when you're 16, 17, you see these people, you're like, this is all I want to do. And you think, I just need to get big enough and this and that. You're just not patient enough. And you think sometimes, I just need to stack all these supplements. If the supplements don't work, I need to go right into SARMs. If the SARMs aren't getting me big enough. And a lot of things just take time. And even if you want to eventually take steroids, it'll do you more justice to spend years and years building up your natural foundation. And by the time you take steroids, you really understand how to train, how to eat, and
You maximize
your potential.
But, like, the thing is someone was talking to me, and they were like, well, there's that one kid that will do it at that age and be Arnold, be
It's like the
Chris
idea, though,
Bumstead.
saying, oh, you could be president one day. It's like,
And most of those kids, though, if you look back at them when they were 18, 19, 16, they had physiques and frames on them.
Chris
already.
Bumstead looked like 24.
Exactly. And the
at
thing
18.
is that, like, I wish these young kids would come to someone that's going to be honest with them, which is how do you find that, and say, hey, I want to do this. I don't know. It's hard for me to say. Like, there's some kids that say they're competing soon, and there's no names because there's multiple. It's not just one person, so I don't want anyone to. But I'm like, you realize that naturally I could do that show at my worst day and blow you out of the water. And it's not a flex. It's not me trying to. But you realize, like, you want to cut or you want to do this, and you have no muscle. It's like, and now you want to use this or you don't want to use this or whatever. And it's just like.
They don't see the long game.
I'm kind of confused, honestly, and I'm not trying to be rude. Do they see what, I don't want to say real competitors, but do they see what good competitors look like?
The winners are putting in behind the scenes that probably most of them don't see. The day, like hours and hours, they aren't going out on the weekends. They aren't partying.
Yeah.
They aren't spending their time watching this. They're prepping, like, to the T.
But not only
most of the time for years.
But not only that, but, like, I'm talking about literally. Like,
I know what you're saying. So
if I walk in a room and you're going to compete and I could do that same show as you, and like I said, I'm no one special.
He's saying the person that, like, looks like a jar of mayonnaise, with like maybe 12% body fat, and they're competing in like 2 weeks.
And
right?
they're hype about it, and they're like, like, I'm about to kill it. And I'm like, well, kill what? Because
I guess they're missing either an example or leadership for sure. But then I feel like also everybody in their life also needs to get humbled. Like, they need to get that show and that loss under their belt.
And I think sometimes people aren't being honest with other people on Instagram. Like, their homies hyping them up.
Yeah, I get that too.
I get it. People don't want to be negative, but sometimes you got to keep it real with people, and that's tough because people get their feelings hurt.
And I think you could. I mean, it's a possible way, but it's very hard to where you could spin it positively and be like, "Hey, man, you probably shouldn't post, or you probably shouldn't compete."
I can look back at like old photos from like either 2018 or something and be like, I remember how I thought I was big when I wore this or when I was at this point in the gym, and I can look back now and be like, that dude's still fucking smaller. You look chubby there.
Or I was fat.
And so sometimes when you're in the moment, to give a little credit to those kids and those people, I know how you like feel and you're excited, and from where you started, you made a lot of progress. But you still have to, when you're hyping yourself up on Instagram or you're doing a show, you do have to be realistic
and I
how things really are.
I just don't know how, and I know everyone's social skills are, like, different.
Yeah.
But, like, I just don't know how you want to do classic physique. Like, okay, here, let me say this, actually. If you are a young competitor, look at Chris Bumstead, and I know most of them follow them. Look at a pro. Just look at an IFBB pro, okay? And I know there's some that look average or whatever, but just look at an IFBB pro. And if you're an IFBB pro, you have to have some type of like physique. So I'll say that. Look at an IFBB pro and say, could I go toe to toe with this guy? And if you cannot go toe-to-toe with this guy, bulk. That is literally like the best advice. And I'm not trying to be rude or funny. Do a show, maybe get your feet wet if you wanted experience.
Yeah.
But, like, if you don't think at your leanest you can go toe-to-toe with an IFBB pro, like, don't waste your time wasting time building muscle and losing a bunch of, like...
Because you'll lose time, to grow when you're dieting and you're in these states. It's kind of like if I was really trying to make big gains related to something different from lifting with running, right? If I could spend 12 months of my year basically building my aerobic base and getting better and training and improving my cardiac output or whatever, but instead another version of me is constantly doing races, constantly going 100%, and I never actually follow a program and build up, I'm wasting that year. I'm not giving my chance time to grow.
I know a guy, and he's local. He probably didn't listen to the show at all, but I think he's came to the gym here once. His name's Mitchell Baker, I think. He's not really big on Instagram, has like 400 followers, but he's a big son of a bitch. Trains at Gold's Gym Mechanicsville a ton. Usually in a big old hoodie, big pants. But I've known him for at least 10 years. When I first started lifting is when he was starting to first lift. And he was like a country horse back then, but kind of chunky, chubby. And everybody, I remember me, all my boys that were competing back in the day, we were 23, barely lifting. We were like, oh, we're fucking jacked and shredded, whatever, 180 pounds. And this guy was like, nope, I'm not competing, because we kept on getting on his balls. Yo, you should compete. He's like, no, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. And he is still, like, and I think to a certain point you have to pull the trigger and just try it.
Sure.
But he 8-10 years later, he still hasn't competed, but he's still building. And this dude's fucking massive, jacked as shit now, definitely like 275, 280 walking around. I have to show him to you all once we're done. Like, he's one of those cats that's like put in the dues over the years to build a physique,
and I think
to where he could, test the waters now.
Right, and I think if you want to just compete to compete, that's completely fine. Go ahead, compete and do what you want to do. I don't want to get that twisted. But if you want to go to the Olympia or if you want to be a pro, then my advice still stands. Like, I'll say this too, I have done 2 shows recently on steroids. And even though the first one I should have came overall, I really should have. And the second one, the guy, he did this thing, this summer shredding, that wasn't even in a federation. If you don't think you can beat me in a men's physique thing and you want to go pro, keep bulking. That's what I got to say.
Yeah.
At least, I was thinking about it, and I was like, if you just don't want to compete, that's fine, but you have to be honest with why you're competing. Are you doing it just for you, or are you doing it to win? Because if you're doing it to win, like you said, you need to actually spend the time. And it goes back to the steroids thing too. Like, be honest with yourself why you're taking the steroids. If you're taking it to be Mr. Olympia, you need to reevaluate
your
not
life.
just your odds, but your life. Yeah, it takes a bigger commitment than just saying it and thinking it in your head. You actually got to take the serious steps to get there, and you still might not get there genetically.
Yeah.
But I like that you've been honest with yourself, and you're not hiding it, or you're not putting up something fake on Instagram. You're like, hey, I took these steroids because, like you said, it's a business opportunity. I know I need this to really stand out and give myself a chance to move up or to
even
go
places.
places. Yeah. And you're honest with yourself for that. You're not going to say, oh, I'm doing it because I want to be a competitor long term. You're being real with yourself, and I think in the long term that'll actually lead to more happiness. People will see you as being real. And I think you'll have a better, clear head on where you want to go moving forward.
And I also considered, thought about or wanting to take steroids for, 6, maybe 7 years. And that's another thing too. Is I had all that time to consider that and to really decide, because there is many things that can happen after you start taking them. And I don't know. Like I said, I think at the end of the day, the whole genetic thing is another thing, but you have to, and you said, Austin, the work you have to put in is, I don't think many people understand, especially when they're social media based. I remember for basketball, it's I used to train every day. Literally every day. Christmas Day, I had my coach's son open the gym for me. Thanksgiving Day, every single day I was in that gym. And you have to realize that there was a million other kids out there at my age doing the same thing, with not better coaches, with not better drills, without better genetics. And so it's when you think about the Olympia, like you said, Chris Bumstead would have blown you out of the water on steroids. Not you, but someone out of the water on steroids.
You mean you would have blown someone out with his natural physique?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. So it's like I hate to be the Debbie Downer, but I like to be real, and like especially when you're considering steroids at a young age, to say like, hey, all right, do I think that I'm comparable to Chris Bumstead at all at any stage? And I know he's not, but he's the standard right now. But at the same time, if you think you're a genetic freak, which maybe, I don't know if this is a good thing to say, I know you said build your natural thing, but I'm like, hey, hop on now, brother.
Yeah. I think with all these conversations, whether it's the competing thing or the steroids or really a lot of conversations, it's hard because you're being honest with them, but it's hard to not be a Debbie Downer sound overly negative with them. Like, you're like, hey, I want to be honest with you. You don't look ready to compete. You should spend time bulking, and I don't think these SARMs or these steroids are what you should be looking into. Spend some more time lifting. And they're just going to look at you and be like, you're just a boomer. You just quit because you weren't into competing. You're not as serious as it or with it as I am. You know what I mean? And they just don't see the longevity. It's like telling your dad, like, you don't know me.
This is a personal story that I had or experience with a younger cat. He's probably 23 now. But this was like two years ago, probably a year before we got in the gym here. And I was training with him at a Gold's, and he came up to me, or we were working out together, and he's like, hey, man, you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but have you ever tried, steroids or testosterone? I was like, yeah, I have. And he was like, do you take them now? I was like, yeah, I take testosterone right now because I can't not take it. I've tried to come off for over a year. Test really would never come back. Didn't feel great, so I just take a very, very low dose. And that's what I do just to feel good, feel normal, feel optimal. I haven't dabbled with hardcore exogenous hormones since I was like fucking 24, 23. So he was like, well, I'm thinking about doing it. And I was like, and this is for real, as word for word as I could say, is, are you ready to stick yourself twice a week for forever? Because there's potential that once you start taking these exogenous hormones, it's going to shut your natural test off. You might have some other health things pop up too. You don't know how your body will react to extra testosterone in your body, but join the club. Be ready. If you want to or not, you're going to be sticking yourself at least once, if not twice a week, for forever. And not everybody shuts off like maybe I did. Some people can hop off and come completely back to normal.
I'm scared right this second. I don't let y'all know. I'm effing sweating right now.
I will say I abused them when I was younger. I had an option or opportunity to come off after my first cycle, which was like a 10-week cycle. I had the PCT and everything. Do that shit in the trash and kept rolling because I felt too great.
It's like a Scared Straight.
I felt great. I was like, I'm not stopping. And next thing you know, when two years later, I'm ready. I'm like, I'm fucking done pinning myself. I'm done with this shit. I just want to be normal. Tried to come off for over a year. Lost a ton of weight. Black and gray days. Just didn't feel like doing shit. Slept all the time. Didn't have sex for like 3-4 months.
Nutsack fell off.
Dead serious. I mean, dead serious. Shit didn't work. Or if it did work, she'd have to work really hard to get that thing going. Yeah. And I'd be like, I don't even want it. Ooey. Ooey. Yeah. Sex? Ooey. Yeah. That's how bad it was. And, I just told him, I've now heard that the kid went ahead and did it anyways. So,
but they're going to,
and because I see it because when I told him I was
later.
Well, I told him, or he asked, he's like, "Are you still?" I was like, "Yeah," but I have to be. There's a difference, you if you play it smart, you can potentially take some other things to probably come back off, and it's your decision at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think it's like parents. Like I think it's like your parents telling you don't do this, and then like you're like, they're just old, they don't know this, and then you do it, and it's like saving money. You're like, hey, if I was your age, I was saving money, blah blah blah, and then you're like, I ain't saving money. I want this shirt, or I want to go to this concert, and then you realize like 5 years down the road, you're like, damn,
I should have put money in Bitcoin.
Yeah, literally, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think like at the end of the day, I mean, you heard when I've I guess interjected, and I hope he didn't take. I don't think he did. I know he didn't, but when I was talking out there about if he should cut or not.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, I interjected my opinion, and usually I don't do that. But it's hard, and it's like, when do you decide not to, or decide to without hurting someone's feelings?
I think it's more respectable to be real. like you're like
It
for you to
is.
interject.
Some people just take shit hard, though. You know.
But it's
Especially
feelings
especially the
or
youngins.
being real.
Yeah.
But they're gonna do it anyways. Then and then you're like, now you're just a
Yeah.
douchebag, pessimistic douchebag to them, and they're on steroids.
That's what I mean. Yeah, yeah.
But hopefully they look back and be like, "Damn, Miles
Yeah.
was right. Look at
Facts.
me," or so and so, whatever.
Yeah. Shout out to all the youngins out there. Like honestly
Yeah.
though, one thing I will say, they got social media unlocked.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
understand it.
They know the TikToking and
It's like,
reeling way
how do you
more
work
better
this
than I
phone?
do. Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I forgot how to use Facebook. I was on Facebook trying to find an event I got invited to. I'm like, hey, ask my girlfriend, how do you get to the events?
You know, I laugh at like grandparents because they can't figure out like a setting or FaceTime. But shit, we're not far from it.
That's
you know?
that's my one goal though. Like
I'm
I
trying
want to
to-
stay hip.
I'm trying to stay. I don't need to be cool, but I need to know what the fuck I'm doing. Or
I
know
don't
what's
think
going
Brock
on.
is going to be.
No, dude, I'm
I don't
boomer
think-
as shit. I was like, so I switched over to like Apple Music because I saw it like a 6-month free thing, and my Spotify's always connected here. And I was already building out like my '90s like playlist because I don't listen to the shit now. And you know, we made a new playlist for the gym because a lot of people were always bitching about the music, and I'm just like, bring headphones. But either way, because I mean, for real, it's like a 38-hour playlist. I mean, you're bound to hear the same songs. But either way, made a new playlist. It's got all this modern shit like Playboy Cardi and all that. And I just look at Austin every time a song comes on. I'm like, what the hell is this? How do you lift to
See,
this?
I don't listen to Playboy Cardi, but I'm probably going to listen to him after this just because, no, like seriously, every Friday, like I've already done today, I try to find a new album with the young.
You know what a
youngins
lot
like.
of people like that I can't stand? Suicide Boys.
I was about to say, I know
Yeah.
Peyton loves them.
Peyton loves them.
Brother.
Some people that came earlier today love them.
Brother, I am so sorry, but it's garbage.
Garbage. Give me a Bob Seger album.
Yeah,
And let's
please.
rock. Yeah.
But no, seriously, I'm like, that's one of my goals. Like, because I got that way where I was like, all this new music is trash, but all these kids love it.
Miles
so
is tearing up listening to this song. He's like, I love it. You know.
right, hating it.
Yeah.
Like, but I
This is
literally,
good.
I listened to an album, literally, like 3 or 4 times, even if I don't like it. It sounds
I
kind
think
of
you
crazy.
told me
but
that about the Drake album you were telling us last time.
Yeah.
Like just force feeding yourself this
It's kind of
garbage.
weird, but like, I literally, one of my biggest goals in life, like, is to be kind of hip at older. And I think like that is the number one step of stepping into old age is not
Yeah.
adjusting the music. Like my dad's like, Lil Wayne is not
But,
good, and I'm like,
Dude,
yes, he is.
I haven't been adjusted for years now, though. I feel like after
It's never too
2015, I just dipped. Same with movies, but movies I can watch some modern movies like all the Marvel ones people like and all that. I'm down, but I feel like movies have kind of fallen off a little bit. I'll watch modern TV shows. That's all good. I guess it's more music I just can't get with, or some of these terms like Morgan or what's another one?
like
Even like lit just sounds too goofy, I mean, that's probably old
That's
news
kinda
now.
old, though.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
I can't think of them on the spot now. Morgan's one there that
what
we
does
we-
Morgan mean? I see. I don't know that one.
Yeah, there's some like high school kids that were using it a lot like
Look
months
it up real
ago.
quick.
It's
Morgan.
yeah, look it up on Urban Dictionary. But there's a lot of these new terms coming
I'm
out.
all going, you dog.
On, yeah, shit like
I
that.
don't know what it means, but I might have
Or
just
or a lot of these
disrespected you.
people will watch like these new Gymshark athletes on YouTube and they're all like hip like, "Oh, did you see what are some of these cats? You know that Will Tennyson dude and
I don't know anybody.
all these like young cats that probably weigh $150, that I don't know who these people are.
I try to keep hip though. Like even to that, like
Yeah.
I see my Explore. There's this one dude that I saw on my Explore page. He doesn't have a big following, but like hold on.
Are you Morgan or not?
You got it?
Lying down. No, this can't be right. Lying down on the bench. Here, you look it up. I don't know. Nah, yeah, I try to keep it hip as best as I can. Like it's hard, but
It can't be this one about ejaculate.
yeah, that's what I saw. I was like, hold on, this can't be it.
I definitely mogged.
Dude, why is it not on there?
You know what one? I didn't make it up. I don't know. I just started saying it instead of like going to take a dump. I say sit down.
Wanna
Oh,
take a sit
I
down?
think it's
I'm
like
like, yeah, I'm about to go
I
sit
think it's
down.
like how we would say you're out angling somebody. They use it like that.
Yeah, I
so to
did see
appear
something about
larger
Jim.
in stature than someone else. So
Gotcha.
like if you were taking a picture with, let's say,
Like
a
flexing on
guy and his
somebody.
I'm
girl,
posting a picture
you were like
today.
making yourself seem
Angled.
Like you're the
I'm
big-
posting
yeah.
the picture today,
got
and
the
I'm
angle.
saying Morgan.
Yeah.
That's my
Mogged
caption.
Yeah.
on 'em.
Morgan.
Then I'm gonna
Yeah.
take a sit down, or then I'm gonna
Yeah.
go sit down. Or you don't take a sit down, you just go sit.
Yeah, I just go sit down. I'm
You
about
go
to go sit
tinkle.
down real quick.
Tinkle, yeah.
Tinkle.
Tinkle's like an English word. My
Yeah.
grandma and
You go
mom
sit
say
down to
that.
pee, boy. Which is comfortable actually. Sometimes
Yeah.
you can do it. It's doable.
I wish y'all would have came down to Houston.
I wish I could. You know,
Yeah.
we might have to do something. Maybe not. Maybe fuck you. No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Talk to
But-
Christian, get some tickets.
That would be dope. I would like to go down there and check that out. I think it'd be worthwhile for sure.
Yeah.
So what are some new? Moving on, getting towards the end. What are some goals that you have for yourself? Whether it be your brand, Muscle Mileage, are you going to revive that, or are you going to do anything personally? What's going on with that?
Muscle Mileage. You heard it here first. I'm gonna eventually make it a gym bag company. Like completely. I talked to you about it.
Yeah, you
a
mentioned
while
that.
ago.
Okay, I
It's
forgot
just-
about that.
I just like with this. I just want to put like every dollar into it and make it perfect. Like because I've always been a very big gym bag person.
That's interesting because I feel like that is an untapped market where I haven't seen that many brands or people try to really make like a premium or something different.
Besides,
on a
yeah,
bag.
exactly. Besides a regular.
What kind of bag would it be? Like more duffel, or would you have multiple options? Maybe eventually.
Originally, it would. Yeah, eventually it would be.
Eventually,
But it would originally be like a duffel.
Okay.
I don't want to give too many secrets because I don't
Yeah,
know when
keep-
it's gonna
keep us
happen.
close, though. Yeah.
And you, I mean, I think the opportunity with that, you could still do like exclusive tees with the brand of it. you
Well,
know?
a small, very small thing that I will say that I wanted to do, a fun little thing, is hey, with the youngsters in their Crocs, they put those little like
doodads or whatever.
the little things in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I want to like do pins with the design of the shirt and that go into the gym bag, like as kind of like.
What are these called? Shoot,
And I think I mentioned
because
it,
I got Crocs. I love them.
but like patches,
Yeah.
Velcro.
Gibbets.
Yeah.
Gibbets.
Yeah, like very similar to that. But like I was thinking pins, but honestly, I had bought like a couple pins. I have like a little sling over bag. I'm literally like it's like purses for me for girls. Like,
No, I mean bags are coming in though. Like
Yeah.
I feel like they're kind of here, kind of not.
but most of them are just a simple gym bag, and it's like the name on it sells so much rather than the gym bag. Like, I will say Christian Guzman's Alphalete bag, and he's coming out with a new one soon. I've seen him like low key promote them. I've seen Bailey has one, but anyways, his old gym bag that he made, the duffel bag, is literally, it's not the closest thing to what I want, but it's a perfect gym bag. The quality, everything's there. Shout out to that gym bag. But yeah, I want to do that, and that's like, it's not my main focus. As far as like social media, like I've been trying to focus on like implementing that lifestyle stuff because I know, like, I don't think I'm gonna compete anymore, and I know I don't want to use anything anymore. And I've learned that over the time, like people are, I guess you could say, attracted to me or like like me rather than just like my fitness stuff. And so like I want to lean into that more. That's been really the biggest kind of like focus. I want to get onto online coaching. And then there's something that I don't want to talk about yet, but it's really big on what like I'll tell y'all after, but like my focus is trying to be.
OnlyFans. It's okay. You can
OnlyFans.
talk.
I have
about it.
OnlyFans. I told y'all that.
Okay, I think you did.
Yeah,
Is it
I'll
just,
show
like,
you right
fitness
now.
Stuff?
Huh?
It's like fitness.
I haven't
stuff?
posted anything on there besides like
you just have an
hi.
account.
I have an account. I think OnlyFans is gonna come around for real.
Following 18, like, huh? Yeah.
I think OnlyFans is gonna come around like a normal social media platform.
Yeah.
That's apparently that's what they originally wanted it to be, was like a Patreon type thing, and then it just got very sexual.
Well, you know what? Instagram is working on that. They're working on subscriptions and stuff.
Shit.
No, like okay, so
Why
did y'all
can't
see
they
my-
just leave some of this shit alone? You know, let it flourish.
Here's my OnlyFans old
Aw,
selfie.
shit.
I don't know. There's nothing on there.
What's the picture of from the waist down?
Yeah. Oh,
It's
you
a
gotta pay.
normal
You gotta
selfie
pay
shot
for
on
that.
Instagram.
You gotta pay for that, dog.
I got clothes on. Anyways,
Old sock.
Instagram. Did y'all see my story about Instagram? Like, Instagram is doing some things. Like they're really taking over. I mean, they've always had taken over.
I think
but
it's interesting that I mean, you sent it to me, but I'd seen it too. Like YouTube and also Instagram are like paying people to make shorts or reels and such because they're, I guess, trying to pull them away from TikTok.
TikTok, yeah.
they're no. Honestly,
Fuck TikTok.
Yeah, fuck TikTok.
I'm on
I
TikTok.
never
go
got.
follow
I
me.
never got on.
I'm on it, but I don't want to be on it.
I mean,
Just make it the same thing as Instagram. Just crush them real quick so we can just stay on there and keep moving.
but they really are like they're just monopolizing everything. Like they're like trying to take Twitch too. I don't know if y'all seen. Have y'all?
I heard about them maybe looking into Discord or like buying Discord or something like that. I don't
Oh,
know.
that'd be
Which
tight.
It's definitely like related to Twitch and some, it's Twitchers,
I don't know, right?
Twitchers typically use Discord to
Yeah,
chat.
they do.
Yeah, well, they're now on live. You can get paid. People can tip you. That was one thing that is
Kind of
really,
like a super chat on YouTube.
yeah, or like Twitch. Like that's how people get paid
Yeah,
on
on
Twitch.
Twitch,
Like
yeah.
they get, their subscriptions. They're trying to roll out Reels. Getting paid for views on Reels. That's rolling out. I don't know. There's a lot of things I can't think of them right at the top of my head without like pausing for a long minute.
That's
but
all right, yeah.
but there's a lot of things on Instagram. It's crazy because like Instagram, it's like scary because it's like, okay, you can put all your eggs into Instagram and really like flourish on there, but what happens when it goes, And that's why the
Maddie
TikToks
and I were
and
talking about that a little bit.
yeah, and that's why the think about if your Instagram gets deleted. Like, what about like?
That's why I want to be like, I'd like to be financially stable via social media, but also financially stable via actual product and service
Yeah.
that I provide to society or clients,
An actual
Sure.
business.
Yeah, a real business,
But like, it's realistically, is social media really gonna go? Like,
No,
it's,
that's the thing, too,
like
yeah.
it's really honestly, if anything, you could say this is like it's the future. Like it's
is.
bigger than what it
I
really
mean,
is.
I don't even think the government could stop it for real. For real, it would stop the government. Like they could, like,
I mean, it's part of government.
yeah, definitely, probably some shit in there. Yeah.
They're getting paid somehow.
But I don't think it's ever going anywhere. If
No.
anything, it's gonna be like what
going
rules
nowhere.
the world.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean,
Zuckerberg.
it moves the world
Yeah.
for sure.
Lizard man, yeah.
Isn't that
Oh
crazy?
no, hold on. Does the fucking Thanos
Oh, fuck.
gone?
I think
Account
Zuckerberg.
deleted.
Yeah.
I think all those people hang out on the daily. I think
Yeah.
those top. The
I watched
Apples
Side note: I watched a interview with Mark a few days ago, Mark Zuckerberg, and just him just like staring into the camera. I was like, "This dude
He's
is
so
real.
freaking socially
This dude
awkward.
is weird."
man.
I
And his hair,
mean-
that bowl haircut he still got, like it's like
Yeah.
the weird like a 1993 haircut.
I mean, those kind of people are what make the world, though.
No, he is.
Not make the world, but those socially awkward. Like Christian Guzman's socially awkward. If you meet him, he's pretty awkward. Like I think he's definitely like learned to like he meets hundreds of people all the time. But if you meet him, like he's kind of awkward person.
I think all of us are probably awkward around people we don't know. But then, like, when we're in our people, we can be goofy. We can talk about whatever. We feel like things flow. At least that's how I feel.
So. If it's, I tell my girlfriend this all the time because my girlfriend's got a big group of soccer friends, and I've struggled to get adjusted to hanging out with all of them at once. Like, and I care about what people think, and so like when I'm around all of them, one of my biggest insecurities is not going to college. Like I feel when I go into college educated people, like I feel like I'm going to be automatically belittled because of it. So they're all college graduates. All their boyfriends and husbands, they went to school, same school and everything. And when I get around all of them, I get very awkward. I'm very shy. Like, I can think of a whole conversation. Like, if we sat here, I could plan out a whole conversation, what they're going to say, and I could make up replies. But when I'm there, I'm kind of like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Right. Literally, I'm like that. But,
Yeah.
like, with random people that I don't know that maybe follow me on Instagram, I'm very good at it. Like, I don't know. I'm very fine with that. And if there's less than like 4 people, I say if there's less than 4 people, I'm going to be great. If there's more than 4, I'm going to be literally in the corner like this. Like, it's no in between for me. Maybe not even 4 exactly, but about that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I get it.
But yeah, those successful people, they're like I think there's like a study. Most successful people are like introverts.
It's probably because they ain't fucking around with the fuck around gang.
Yeah.
People
Right.
that are just fucking around, they just focus on them.
No, that's facts.
Anyways, I'm glad you came out here, man.
I love coming
Yeah.
on here with you guys.
Yeah.
This was an enjoyable podcast.
Mhm.
Griffin, I'm replacing you.
Oh,
shit.
I
it's
just got to
announced.
fix
Taking
them.
names.
He's working the DJ over there, the board and everything.
Yeah.
We got him on probation.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Griffin.
Yeah, we'll see. But thank you again, man. And make sure you follow us all in the description below. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode.
Share
if you
the show.
found any value
Boom.
or knowledge or made you think about your decisions or decisions you want to make sure you share it with a friend.
Yes. And we want you guys to just be the best. We're not being pessimistic.
100%, man. I think we did get into a deep spot where it was like, yo, fuck you if
Yeah,
you're
if
an
you take
amateur.
steroids, fuck
You're gonna
you.
look
Or
terrible.
if you're
and
natural,
gonna
fuck
this.
you.
Yeah.
Get on juice. Not at all. There's decisions to be made. It's all up to you.
Yeah.
You're responsible for your life, so make sure you do your research. And that's all, folks. We're out of here.
That's all.